Indeed, we are. We're starting now and we are live. Welcome to Leading Ladies Leaving Legacies, and that's you. And for the gents out there as well, welcome. It's always good to spend time and space with you. Tonight, our featured guest speaker is a business consultant, AnGele Cade, and she is a consulting expert who has dedicated her life to helping entrepreneurial men and women develop effective corporate structures. Oh, there's so much more. We're going to share a lot of information with you. So sit back, relax, get comfortable, and gather together whatever you need, a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, a glass of wine, and help me to welcome our featured guest speaker tonight, AnGele Cade. AnGele, come up and say hello and welcome. So good to have you here.
Well, it is a pleasure to be here with you. Such an honor, and thank you so much for having me.
AnGele, everyone says that to me, but the honor and the pleasure is all mine. I'm so honored to have you here because the work that you're doing, it ignites my spirit and it excites me because I'm not the best business person, but I'm learning and loving every moment of it. So tell us a little bit about the business that you do.
Well, the business that I do is really helping people pursue their passion, activate their vision, bring to life their cause, just anything and everything to bring a framework around the structure of what they're doing in their business, making sure that they're ready to receive money, making sure that they're ready to engage in contracts, just making sure that they make sense on paper. So the heart of what I do is really bringing people's businesses to life. And so it's exciting work. We're across many, many industries, and we've been doing it for 20 years.
I don't believe it. Not 20 years. Not 20 years. I don't go into the year
December
thing,
2nd will be 20
not
years
20
we've
years.
been doing this work. Yeah.
Angel, I get excited hearing you speak about what you do because you use all of the key words that are major for all of us in business, no matter the type of business, because you're giving them the framework. I needed that framework when I started, didn't have it, now building it. So I get that. And then you said you help and support them to learn how to secure money. It's the bottom line is business, no matter how gifted and great you are. So I love that. Tell us a little bit about, I know it's, I don't assume anything anymore. Is it predominantly entrepreneurial, small businesses? Is it a combination of all types of people? Share with us a little bit about the type of businesses that you're working with predominantly.
So we work mostly with startup businesses, and so they're micro, they're small, a handful of medium, but mostly small businesses. 80 plus percent of businesses are small, and so the reality is that we make up the most business, the most transactions across the marketplace. People that are solopreneurs, people that are parallelpreneurs, people that are just serialpreneurs. I mean, just a number of different type of preneurs that exist, and that's who we service. The people that are at the edge of starting or creating something new and wanting it to be framed in a legitimate way. And so that's the heart of the people that we attract, the ones that are starting out, shifting and changing, wanting to do better, but wanting it to be done right.
Wow, of course, to be done right. Let me say to you, I'm going to back up a wee bit. I have no shame. I'm at that stage in life where you said something that I'm not up to speed with. I didn't know that there was a solopreneur, a parapreneur,
Parallelpreneur.
and then another one. I never heard. What was the other one you said? The third one.
They're serialpreneur.
I
Well, there's
love it.
mompreneurs. There's all kind of preneurs.
All kinds of entrepreneurs.
so,
Oh, I like it.
so,
Tell us a
so
little
let
bit
me
about
so
the latter two.
so the parallelpreneur is very common because they're people that are on parallel tracks. And so someone who has a job and is starting a business, but they're not able to, let's say, let go of their job, or maybe their job is the prime investor of their business. And so those clients we call parallelpreneurs because they're doing the work at a job and they're also investing and structuring and doing their business. So those are parallelpreneurs. Serialpreneurs, which is very common, is someone who has multiple businesses. Maybe they've got a small business they've started, maybe they have a partnership or an LLC that they have with someone else, maybe they've invested in something else, where they're a part of maybe an investment group. So they've got multiple things going on. And so those people, we call them serialpreneurs. They're constantly changing and evolving, investing, navigating, creating. And so they're constantly trying to see, okay, where is the win going to come from? Where's the, where am I this, where am I 3 feet from gold? And so they're looking for the different things and they're sectoring it off that way. So those clients we call serialpreneurs.
Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
love that because I have no shame. And I think I heard it somewhere, but it didn't resonate. But you explained it precisely, clearly for me. Let me ask you this because this is major for a lot of people. I know when I started futzing around as a hobby, like about 5 or 6 years ago, and now turning it into a business, I had no clue. I knew what my passion and what my love was, but I didn't know how do you help people to find the purpose and the mission, purpose, and calling of what they're to do? How do you align with them in a small business to get them to what's going to be most profitable
Yeah.
and will fill them up the most?
And that's a great question because a lot of people don't realize, in everything there is profit. There is someone right now who's a millionaire because they have a factory that produces screws. There's someone that's a millionaire who is producing staples that go inside a stapler. I mean, just everything as you look around is a business, which is why our tagline is whatever you do, it's your business. And so the exploration of discovering purpose, passion, and cause, a lot of times for people, they're just one good consulting session away from discovering what that is. A lot of times it's in them, it's in their heart, it's when they're talking, it's when they light up, it's in that conversation, or sometimes it's in their hurt, it's in their testament, it's in their experience, it's in something that has gone wrong where they understand what they need to fill it or to be right. And so a lot of times as you're just kind of living life and navigating your own journey, you discover the things that light you up and the things that bring about a possible profitability. Because if it lights you up, if it resonates with you, the chances are it's going to resonate with someone else, and we don't want to downplay that. So being able to be open to discovery and having these types of conversations where we whiteboard and we figure out what is going to be best for you and what's the journey or path that you're going to carve out for yourself, because it doesn't have to be like anyone else's.
Oh, and nor should it be, right? I mean, nor should it be. Let me share this with you. This I just learned myself. I think you know how you know things and it's in the reservoir of your soul, but it hasn't emerged yet. What you just said about sometimes it's in the hurt, most people don't realize and don't walk into that because that's something you're walking away from. But oftentimes it is in that hurt. It is in that something that caused you a lot of pain and grief that you have overcome that you can now project and give out to others. And I'm sure even in a small business that applies, right?
Absolutely, even more so. And I have to share with you, it's actually part of my own origin story. When we, at the beginning of this journey of executive on the go, a lot of
Yes.
people have been asked about the name. Well, initially, I was the executive that was going, I was the one on the go. And
Uh-huh.
when you turn back time, and even going back before that, my last job was at a CPA firm. I was a controller at a CPA firm out here in Los Angeles, and
Mhm.
I worked with him for a few years. It was a great job. I loved it. I was committed. I was dedicated. But he had another vision. He had another mindset. He went on to be the CFO on a project that was raising money. And lo and behold, fast forward, he lost everything. He stopped showing up. I no longer had the security of a pay, but in losing everything and being left with a place where I was at risk of, losing my car and losing my home and losing stability, all the things that I had become so secure in,
Mhm.
now I had a labor board judgment. I was out looking for a job. I was trying to figure it out. I was at a place where I just didn't know what to do, didn't know where to turn. But the clients that I was servicing at that firm, they raised their hand and said, "AnGele, we know that you're doing the work. We know that you were doing the job, and we
Yes.
want you to still service us." And so that's where the business started. It started not even because I wanted to do it, it was because someone else raised their hand and said, "We trust you to do it. We
Yes.
want you to do it. We want to pay you to do it." And sometimes you need other people to solidify or to identify or even to validate and say, "You know what? You have value in the marketplace. You're able to contribute and add in a way that is dynamic and that is sourceful and that is impactful, and we want to pay you for it." And that exchange then becomes business. And so out of it birthed Executive on the Go to the place where it has evolved to where it is now 20 years later, thousands of clients later. And it's been an amazing, amazing run. And if I didn't lose everything, if I didn't lose that space, lose that security, lose that job, if I didn't, if I wasn't left with what had happened, then who knows? I might not be here the way I am today.
AnGele, thank you for sharing that story, because that story is way beyond powerful, because it speaks to a lot of what is my DNA and what I speak to all the time. Oftentimes, that's why we need a community. That's why we need an extended family and people to validate what we don't see and realize within ourselves. Someone saw and felt in you, and they gave you the impetus to get started and do what you're doing now. And I love the name Executive on the Go. And you birthed that because of your own pain and suffering, but they saw the brilliance in you. What a story. What a story. Executives on the Go. I love the name. How did you come to that name?
I mean, it just felt right because
Yes.
I was in a place where I was going and I was an executive to them. A lot of the small businesses, they can't afford. At the time, we weren't doing fractional CEOs and COOs. It was just administration. It was just this missing part of your operations. And so I filled a spot in terms of compliance, in terms of bridging between the client and their professionals. A lot of times it could be intimidating as a small business. You're trying to figure out, how do I talk to my accountant? How do I deal with my attorney? Do I need an attorney? Do I need an HR specialist? Do I need all these pieces? And so back then it was about bridging that gap and that conversation and really filling that blind spot. And I think that as a company, as a consulting firm, that really is our differentiating factor. We're listening for those blind spots. We're listening for those areas that might not be covered because you don't even know they exist. So the reality is, you're doing business and you think, "I'm out here selling cookies and selling brownies." And it's like, well, you're also building assets. You've got equipments, you've got ovens, you've got things that you're building. Are you capturing it on your balance sheet? What? No one ever told me that. Well, let me tell you about it. And let's
Yeah.
make sure you equip the team around you to capture and reflect the work that you're doing, because you're building this for a reason. You're building this for legacy. You're building this for the generations to come. And so if we don't capture it right, how can we make sure that it translates when it comes to your exit strategy? So having these conversations.
Love your clarity. Love your clarity. And you're using words that are so major and prime for all of us now, no matter what type of business you're having and you're doing, because you're talking about building those bridges, crossing those bridges, making sure that you have what you need in order to do that. And this listening skill, listening and tuning in to the people that you're there to serve, and building on what they need, because often that's why we need this extended family. That's why we need community. That's why I celebrate you and Blanca and men and women like you who see that and know that they need others to support them with their vision. And it becomes a win-win. So that in itself, let's talk about the win-wins and the celebrations. So how do you support people to get into away from maybe the worry and concern about starting and implementing that business, and celebrate all of those brilliant, small, tiny moves that will take them to where they want to go? That's another thing. Celebrate your wins.
Yes, it is. It's very, very important to celebrate the wins. It's one of the things that I talk about all the time because we spend so much time focusing on the stress. We spend so much time focusing on the hurts. We spend so much time focusing on the things that are wrong or that need to be fixed or that aren't working. Well, I want you to know what is working. I want you to look at where are we winning? Where are we accomplishing? Where are we striding? How is that working to our benefit? We want to go from win to win because if we do that, then all of a sudden, when we look up, we'll realize that we've built something that built something to stand, built something that's worth what value in the marketplace. But we want to look at the wins. That's why when we're looking at testimonials, when we look at capturing the wins, a lot of times we're not asking for referrals, we're not asking for
Yes.
connections, we're not asking for what we need, especially when we just had a win. Have you ever had an amazing client who's like, oh my gosh, I love you. I love this.
Yes.
This is so great. Why not in that moment ask them and say, you know what? Do you mind giving me a testimonial? Do you mind putting that in writing? Do you mind sharing that with us? Can I use that somewhere else? Making sure that you not only celebrate the wins, but that you are reminded of it. I myself have what is called, and please don't laugh, I have what's called a happy file at my desk. And in my happy file, I put in there, commendations, emails, testimonials, cards from clients. I just got a beautiful edible arrangement from a client that we just put their structure together. And I put those things in there because when I am low, because the times do come, when I am down, when I make a mistake, I'm human. I open up this file and I'm reminded that there is good work in the world that I'm doing and that I've invested in, and that there are wins inside of me and that there are more to come. We've got to be reminded of it because we spend too much time on the negative.
AnGele, again, a humble thank you because that description, and I'm taking the happy file. I'm going to implement that into mine. I love it. The happy file. You also mentioned another favorite word of mine as part of what we're doing here, legacy, and how you build that bridge to get to where you want to go and take advantage of the wins, and you learn to live your vision, and you
Mhm.
do it with a happy file. So when you do have those times, you can go back and review. Brilliantly shared with us. I love that. How long have you had this happy file? You know, this is for
I,
20
I
years.
you know I've had it. I update it every year or so. I update the file because I put cards, I put notes, I put emails, I put things that are going to make me smile and pause and remind me of who I am. There's so many things that are telling you what you're not. There's so many things that, remind you of where you fail or what is wrong. But sometimes you just need something physical that you can turn to and say, you know what? This is reminding me of who I really am at my core. I'm good. I'm great. I'm impactful. I'm powerful. I'm strong. I'm I'm effective. These are
All
things I am. Be reminded of it.
I absolutely am. I'm a little bit speechless, which is rare for me, because one of the things that you said also, we as women predominantly, and I hope a lot of men will tune in and hear because they have ladies that they love and adore. We have to learn to be more proactive and ask for what we want, right?
Yes.
And then as we do that, we might get a lot of no's, but it's okay because it means not right now and so on. And I love that. Keep that happy file. Everybody needs to have their happy file
Yeah.
because there will come the time when you will need to go and review it. I just think that's brilliant because business, no matter how phenomenal and fantastic it has its highs and lows, its ups and downs. So what
Oh,
do? You have to
it does.
celebrate the
It
wins.
does. It has its ebb and flows, and you go with it. I've been in business 20 years. Believe me, we've experienced multiple markets, multiple crashes, multiple recessions, multiple, things that are going on in the marketplace. And we get clients that call and they're almost surprised. You're still there? We are still here.
I
We're
like
still here. So
We're still, and we're going to be here for quite a bit longer. You mentioned a favorite word, and I'll piggyback back on it, and that's legacy. The people who have their businesses, who put their heart and soul into that businesses, whatever that business might be, you want them to leave and have, or they usually want to have, don't they, some type of legacy? So how do you get them to know and embrace that, so that it's not only now, it's what are you doing for those who will come after you, no matter what the business might be?
Absolutely. It's a rich conversation because a lot of times people go into business, and as we're talking to them, we realize very quickly that their initial mind was to build this, but they were building it like a job. They were building it for the moment. They weren't building a business that had longevity and the ability to be translated
Yes.
or willed, or I mean, grow beyond them. And so really getting them to think beyond the immediate need of, oh, let me pull money from this thing. No, let me build this thing so that it can be some at one point maybe acquired. It could be sold, it could be franchised, it could be duplicated, it could be, there could be a succession plan. This could be for my children. This could be so many things. And so a lot of times we start with an exit. We start with an exit conversation, because when we start with an exit conversation, it triggers legacy, because now you're thinking about something beyond you and beyond this timeline, because this is something that we need to activate for us to have something that is going to be perpetual in its existence. And how do we do that? We do it by systems, we do it by its value, we do it by strategy, we do it by making sure that our intent is to build something that is bigger than us. A lot of times when we get a download for vision and purpose, we then if we activate or connect to it properly, we realize it is bigger than us. And once you do that, now we're talking legacy. When someone does something simple like, oh, I'm going to start this business, it's going to be great, and I say, great, who's the owner? And they tell me, oh, just put it in my name. I'm triggered. I'm triggered because you didn't tell me to put it in the name of your trust. I'm triggered because it's not beyond just you in this moment. Who else is involved? Well, why isn't it in your trust? Well, I don't have one. Why don't you have one? Now, I'm not a trust attorney. I don't do estate planning, but I'm concerned because we're building something. There's legacy involved, but it's not connected to your plan. It's not connected to your estate. It's not connected to the bigger picture. Let's have another conversation.
Wow. Woo. I tell you, if any and everyone who's tuning in here, if they don't get the depth of what's being shared here tonight, I have no words, because I have to say, AnGele, when you say it triggers, and it's always whatever we're doing, it's always so much bigger than we are, so much larger than we are. And how you build that legacy, whatever it might be, I don't care if it's an ice cream stand, it has to be bigger than you are. I'm just loving that. Let me just say to the audience out there, for those of you here now and for the replay, please go and join my Facebook group, Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies, because you belong there. We're looking for women like AnGele, because it's all about legacy. No matter what you're doing and how you stand in that and build what you're about, that's what we're about here. And it goes far beyond your vision and your dream, because it has to be a part of somebody else's dream, and so that they can be a part of your legacy. That's the beauty of it. That is the beauty. I tell you, AnGele, let's talk now. Let's wrap this up in this way. How have you learned the lessons to success for you? And what are some of the lessons to success, achieving it, holding on to it, that you share with those that you're working with, no matter what size of business they have?
So one of the first lessons that I would share in terms of lessons to success, honestly, is really looking at being clear on where there is failure. And I think that a lot of when we fail, and there's a book, Fail Forward,
Yes.
and I love this, the concept of what it means to take these lessons and say, you know what, my lessons to success, a lot of them are rooted on areas or places where maybe I have failed, because now I know what not to do. I know how to maneuver, and not despising those things that happen, but saying, you know what is there there to learn from. A lot of times people say, well, it's not failure, it's a learning lesson. Well, that's fine. Code it however you need to, but learn from it. And so, yes, absolutely. That's it. Fail forward. What does that mean? That means you're looking forward to the next success. That means, you know what, when I'm faced with this, I know how to maneuver. And so I love the comments that are coming through. So yes, you want to actually know how to maneuver. Those are the things that you want to be able to do. So it's a great lesson to have. The other thing is being able to leverage your network. For a long time, I think people were stuck in being concerned with competition, and the reality is that there is plenty of room. It's a story that there's not enough abundance in a space for you to have a seat at the table. Is the table so full? No, pull up your seat. But people have a regard and an attitude. Well, no, you can't fit here, and I'm the one woman, I'm the one minority, I'm the one this. No, 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 no. You need to contribute. You need to be there. You should be a part of this conversation. And there's plenty of wealth, there's plenty of room, there's plenty of prosperity for us to be able to access our own. There are people that need to know what I'm saying, but I'm called to them, right? There are a group of people that are in my network or in my sphere, but there's a whole other group of people that exists that are here to listen to Joy, that are here to listen to, because there's a different group of people, a different realm of people that are in the listening for what you have to say, the way that you have to say it. And so I would just say it's the collaboration, it's the network, it's the expansion, it's the leveraging each other and being able to say, you know what, I'm not gonna hold or hide my resources because I want them all to myself. And no, 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 I want you to shine. Here's my resource for this. You get that, because there's plenty of room for us to succeed together.
AnGele, of course there is. And let me share with you, you spoke to all the points that are relevant to anyone who's about discovering and walking into their success. And it was crystal clear. What you said that I've heard so many times before, and it's always profound. You learn by the mistakes that you make and the mistakes that others made so that you don't repeat. And then whatever it is that you're doing, it's you. Who are you? You are the best of the best of you. You want to shine. And if you're really secure or in the process of becoming, you want others to shine. That's why community and extended family is so vital. Stand in your power, be who you are, and learn what not to do, and gather a lot of people, men, women, and children around you, because that's how you will find your success. And you don't want to compete, compare, mirror, or copy anyone. Take a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but be you and be the best you. I love that. AnGele, I don't know where the time goes here. It goes too quickly, but let me just say this. The time has come where I really want you now. There's so much that you have given us and shared with us, and thank you for it, because the brilliance is resonating with me everywhere. And we're running across all of your data and information where people can connect with you. But share with us your parting words, your food for thought, and what you want to leave us with tonight. And thank you from my heart to yours.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I honor the space and time with you. I would share with the audience, just really remember those words. Whatever you do, it is your business. Market it, grab it, form it, activate it. It's inside of you. Don't feel like you have to emulate someone else. You are you, and the things that you bring to the table, they are your own, and they deserve to be structured. They deserve to be a cause. They deserve to be an entity, and you deserve to receive money in the marketplace for it. So definitely, if you are ready, if you're excited to take that next step, I'd love, love, love to connect with you. But just always remember that there's a gift, there's a purpose, there's a cause, there's a vision inside of you that's your own, and protect it, activate it, and you've got it.
AnGele, thank you so much. We are overflowing with your wisdom. Thank you for sharing. And all of you there, blessings from my heart to your heart. Much love. See you soon. Like, how about the same time next week, same station? Much love.